For their fourth collaboration, Steven Spielberg and John Williams tackled the World War II comedy 1941. Although the film was not considered a critical or financial success, 1941 is nowhere near as bad as the reputation the film has carried throughout the years. John Williams created a score for the movie that is both comical and thrilling, and it comes from a time between the late 1970s and early 80s many consider to be the composer's most creative and groundbreaking period. A year before 1941 came Superman the movie, and the following year would bring The Empire Strikes Back, just to give you an idea of how amazing these golden year scores could be. And this one is no less incredible. There are a couple different versions of the soundtrack available. The original motion picture soundtrack that was released contains just 9 tracks from the movie. What I hate about albums like this that are released boils down to 2 things. Number 1, missing music. Number 2, tracks are not in chronological order. Many times soundtracks when first released are structured in a way to create a more balanced listening experience. However, some people, such as myself, want as much music from the movie as possible, and in chronological order. The cover insert is pretty worthless, just a single piece. There are a few paragraphs on the inside by Steven Spielberg sharing his thoughts on the score, which he does with most of the soundtracks of his that are released. I do like the cover art that they used. I feel this picture perfectly captures the overtop nature of the film, even though the score itself barely clocks in at 38 minutes and 26 seconds. Luckily, in 2011, La La Land Records released a 2-disc expanded set of 1941, and it is absolutely amazing. Visually, this edition is a delight to look at. Both discs have images from the movie, and also included is a 23-page booklet that has a great essay on the score by film score expert Michael Matessino, as well as a track-by-track breakdown of the entire soundtrack. The cover art is different from the original soundtrack, and I feel this striking giant stone numbers image sums up the mammoth score quite perfectly. The first disc contains the entire film score, which includes not only all of the music Williams wrote for the film, but also stuff that ended up not being used in the final cut of the movie. This is all presented in chronological order, the way I prefer a soundtrack. The total running time is a whopping 77 minutes and 8 seconds, nearly 30 minutes longer than the original soundtrack. Several great themes run throughout the score, most notably Wild Bill Kelso's theme, also known as the 1941 March. This is the main theme from the film, and you will hear it many times in various incarnations. Steven Spielberg himself has said that this was the best march John Williams ever wrote, and even prefers it to the Raiders March. Bold words there, Steve. Bold words. Another dominant theme is the love theme written for the Donna character. It has a sort of magical, lovely feel to it that fits right in with the other numerous love themes that Williams does so well. The big centerpiece to the score is the music for the crazy fight/dance sequence in which Williams writes a parody of the Benny Goodman song Sing Sing Sing, appropriately titled Swing Swing Swing. It has a slightly different feel than the rest of the score, since it is essentially source music. The second disc starts off with the original soundtrack, the same 9 tracks you'll find on this one, but it apparently has been remastered to sound better, but I can not really tell the difference. Next up are 5 tracks of source music. In the Mood and Down by the Ohio are the ones I remember most from the film, and it's great that they've been included here. At the tail end of the second disc are 8 alternate takes on certain cues. Usually I never get too excited about alternates, unless it's drastically different from what was ultimately used. The coolest additional track is music used for the promo trailer. Williams wrote music specifically for an early trailer, and it's very different than anything he ended up writing for the finished film. If you have a choice between the two, definitely go for the La La Land edition. Even if you're not always in the mood for a lengthy score like what's found on disc 1, there's always the abridged version on there as well. The only problem is, this one is getting harder to get your hands on and can be a bit pricey, as only a limited number of copies were produced. But if you can, this is an outstanding presentation of an outstanding score. This is one of my favorite John Williams scores, and I feel it stands right up alongside many of the classics he has composed throughout his career.